Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. With the price of just about everything going up during inflation, we thought we'd bring our prices down. So to help us, we brought in a reverse auctioneer, which is apparently a thing.
Mint Mobile Unlimited Premium Wireless. How to get 30, 30, bit to get 30, bit to get 20, 20, 20, bit to get 20, 20, bit to get 15, 15, 15, 15, just $15 a month? Sold!
Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 upfront payment equivalent to $15 per month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Taxes and fees extra. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes. See detail.
How would you like a 15% discount to my daily email, the stack of stuff, the show notes, discounts to the conference, all of that? All you need to do is text the word show to 33777. You'll get the annual subscription with a 15% discount to my daily email. You'll get the stack of stuff, the links to the show notes, discounts to the conference, and so much more. All you have to do is text the word show, SHOW, to 33777. Text show to 33777.
Welcome to the Eric Erickson Show podcast, Hour 1.
Greetings, welcome. It is Eric Erickson here across America. Glad to have you with me today. The phone number is 877-973-7425. Should you wish to be on the program, just delighted to have you with me. I woke up this morning, had to go to the senior awards program at my kids' school. I still don't understand how I'm old enough to have a high school senior. Graduates tomorrow. And while I was waiting, I showed up early, had to take the son to school because, God forbid his sister get up and go to school before the award ceremonies and she didn't have to be there. So mom and dad having to take the boy to school. He's a year from getting his license. So I'm sitting in the parking lot and decided, I'll do show prep in the parking lot. There are no news. Then the Slovakian prime minister, prayers for him. There was an attempted assassination in Slovakia, pro-Russian prime minister. And I thought, there's the big news story of the day. And then the big news dropped, and we got to spend time on the big news. Joe Biden and Donald Trump are going to debate. The Biden administration, or Biden campaign, I should say, essentially acknowledging they're losing and they're afraid that Joe Biden's debates could cost him the election. So they're providing an escape hatch. They want a June debate and a September debate. They don't want October debates. They don't want 3 debates, and they don't want the Presidential Commission on Debates to handle the debating. What's notable about that is the Presidential Commission on Debating is a massive nonprofit with millions of dollars in assets that the Republicans in 2022 said they no longer wanted any part of, and the Democrats attacked them for saying that. And now Joe Biden himself is saying, I'm not going to participate in a presidential debate commission debate. Here's my criteria, essentially ABC, CBS, NBC, or CNN. You pick, Donald. Which one of those do you want? CNN came out and said, we'll do a June debate in Atlanta. And Trump says sold. And then ABC News came out and said, we'll do a September debate. And Biden said sold, and Trump said sold. And so now we've got our debate scheduled. What was weird was how Joe Biden announced it. He did this little cute video, but there's a problem with it. And we need to talk about the problem with the video and why Joe Biden wants a June debate. And again, I have to think as an outsider looking at this situation, a June debate by Joe Biden signals profound weakness. In fact, a June debate by Joe Biden really says to me that he's not really up for any sort of major contest, and he's concerned deeply about screwing up and costing himself the election. Let me play for you the Joe Biden video so you get a sense of this.
Donald Trump lost 2 debates to me in 2020. And since then, he hadn't shown up for debate. Now he's acting like he wants to debate me again. Well, make my day, pal. I'll even do it twice. So let's pick the dates, Donald. I hear you're free on Wednesdays.
Okay. I'm going to play this for you again. That's the video. That's what he did, 14 seconds to say he'll do a debate. Go ahead, make my day, pal. I hear you're free on Wednesdays. I'm going to play this again, and you're going to hear me say the word cut. Just follow along with me here, because you're on radio. You can't see this. Here we go.
Donald Trump lost 2 debates to me in 2020. And since then, he hadn't shown up for debate. Now he's acting like he wants to debate me again. Well, make my day, pal. I'll even do it twice. So let's pick the dates, Donald. I hear you're free on Wednesdays.
Now, what was that? Those cuts. That's how many takes it appears it took them to do the video, to do 14-second video. There are jump cuts, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. That suggests editing. Maybe there was none, but there appears to have been editing. If you follow Biden's eyes and the like, there was editing. It took him 5-6 cuts to do a 14-second video to challenge Donald Trump to a debate. That's why he's doing a June debate. Listen, let's do worst case scenario for Joe Biden. He does a June debate when no one's paying attention, a presidential debate in June, which, by the way, neither he nor Donald Trump will have accepted formally their party's nomination at that time. He does a June debate, the end of June, like the 27th or something, and flubs it so bad that it's his escape hatch to get out of the race in August. That's the early speculation. I would treat this seriously. Joe Biden's polling sucks. He's lost the confidence of the American people. So he does a debate in late June, shows he doesn't have what it takes to be on the debate stage with Donald Trump, let alone run the country. He can say, oh, all right, my polling's in free fall now. It's time for me to get out. This is his way of trying to stop the polling. This is Joe Biden wants an early debate, a late June debate, which is early in the presidential season before either man has formally accepted their party's nomination, because he needs to change the trajectory of the race. That's what's going on here. That's why he's doing it. He was guarded enough to try to pick a forum to lead Donald Trump, so it's going to be CNN. It's going to be in Atlanta. And then Joe Biden did not want a studio audience. Joe Biden's afraid of being booed by the American public. I mean, the news channels, they could have picked a crowd, could have brought in college students, could have brought in undecided voters. I mean, CNN has a vast array of resources that CNN itself could have put on a debate with a live studio audience that was focus grouped to be undecided independents, of which there are many in Georgia, in the metro Atlanta area, where they're going to have the debate. And Joe Biden didn't want to take a chance of being booed or heckled. Joe Biden does not want the American public in the room with him when he debates. That's not the sign of a candidate who is confident in re-election. Now, I know what the Democratic spin is. The Democratic spin is, oh, he's so confident he's going to run election. Might have go on out there right now and start these debates. Well, then why just 2 if you're that confident? Why not the traditional 3? Because traditionally there are 3. Traditionally there's a vice presidential debate. You're not doing that either, it seems. So you don't want Kamala Harris to debate a vice presidential nominee? Now, maybe because Trump doesn't have a VP pick yet, they'll do that later. Maybe the Presidential Debate Commission will be involved with that one. I kind of doubt it. They've thrown the commission under the bus. It's just kind of remarkable to me that the Democrats want to spin this as Joe Biden doing this from a position of strength. Because he came out with a 14-second video that had to be edited 5 or 6 times with different jump cuts. That's your position of strength? Because he wants a June debate, the earliest presidential debate in history between 2 party candidates. You want a super early debate. Why do you want that early debate, particularly during the summer when people are distracted? No one's really paying attention. Why do you want a debate when no one's paying attention? You don't want that if you're winning. You don't want that from a position of strength. You don't want the American people in the room with you when you debate the other candidate. That's not from a position of strength. Now, I know the Democrats, they'll come up with some creative spin. I'm sure we will have a great time on social media where Democrats trying to tell us that this actually means that Joe Biden is in a massively strong position. I know they'll puff up their chests and they'll say whatever it takes to try to convince the American people this is good, but this isn't good. This is not a position of strength. This is a position of profound weakness by a man who is losing. Now, the other interesting thing, again, is the Presidential Debate Commission. When Republicans said they didn't trust the Presidential Debate Commission and they wanted no part of it, Joe Biden and his team attacked the Republicans. They attacked Republicans for trying to tear down historic American institutions of vital importance to our democracy. And now Joe Biden himself is bypassing the Presidential Debate Commission. It's a nonpartisan group designed to schedule these debates, and he's bypassing it too. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. I guess he didn't believe all that rhetoric. This is a fascinating day. So now there will be two debates. There will be the CNN debate in June. There will be an ABC debate in September. All this is going to do, though, and whether it was intentional or not, one of the things that this is absolutely going to do is drive the speculation that part of what Joe Biden is trying to do is provide himself an escape hatch. I mean, he opens the door to this. His polling so bad, they had to have seen it coming, except I don't think they did see it coming. His campaign has been so bad at just the basic political blocking and tackling of campaigns. It's been so bad at trying to maneuver. They should have, a competent campaign would have seen it coming, that this is going to amp up the speculation that this is Joe Biden's escape hatch. He has a debate with Donald Trump at the end of June. That's going to be at a poorly watched time as people are out of town getting ready for the 4th of July holiday. It's going to be on CNN without a studio audience. And if he has a terrible debate, he can say, you know what? This is why I'm doing it before my party nomination. I can bow out. But that's the point. He is doing it before he's formally the party nominee. He is doing it before he is formally renominated to be on the ballot in November. So if he flubs it, he can walk away and say, you know what, I'm going to be a one-term president after all, and I'm going to unbind my delegates. They're no longer committed to me. Y'all can go with someone else. Over to you, Kamala Harris. I don't think it was intentional, but I think it was obvious this was going to happen. Let me jump back to Bidenomics real quick. You know, Americans for Prosperity, they did that website, Bidenomics.com. The Biden team should have bought that domain. They embraced Bidenomics. They wrapped Joe Biden in the label of Bidenomics, and they didn't go by that unique name that was so obviously going to be bought by someone and turned into a URL and turned into a website. It was obvious that was going to happen. And the Biden team didn't do it. It was basic incompetence at the campaign level. Given that basic incompetence at the campaign level, I don't think they were competent enough to say, hey, let's do this at the let's do a debate, and it gives us a way out if Joe Biden flubs it. I don't think they were competent. If they weren't competent enough to buy Bidenomics, they weren't competent enough to think, let's do an escape hatch debate. The problem is they also weren't competent enough to realize that by doing this in June, before you've secured your party's nomination, of course people are going to look at the polling, they're going to look at the campaign and say, this is an escape hatch. This is what he's doing. Of course, it's obvious from an outside perspective that this is the way it's going to be spun. There's no other way to spin it. Joe Biden wants to have a debate with Donald Trump at the end of June, and if he sucks as bad as he probably is, considering how many takes he had to do it to do a 14-second video, game over, he's out. He says, one-term president, goodbye, America. His campaign is not competent. The only thing they've got is the money to stave off a Trump campaign. They've got the money to build a ground operation because all of Donald Trump's money is going to his lawyers. But look no further than Maryland. Last night they had a primary in Maryland, and Dave Trun, who was the Total Wine guy, ran for the U.S. Senate, outspit his opponent massively, and he lost. At some point, name ID doesn't matter. And when you're the president of the United States and everybody knows who you are, your name ID and your money really don't matter that much. What matters is you're running a competent campaign. And this was not a competent thing for Joe Biden to do this early so all of us can speculate. He's doing this in June because if he sucks, he can drop out because his campaign he's losing right now. He's got to do something to staunch the bleeding. If he doesn't, it's his exit strategy, whether he intended it or not. And I don't think they actually intended it. They're not competent enough to think that way. It's been clear so far, but that's what'll happen.
With Lululemon, the real gift happens when they're living in it. When you give the fan favorite everywhere belt bag, the real gift is... And when the ultra soothing rest feel slides are the gift, you're really giving them... This holiday, Lululemon makes it easy to give little luxuries that go beyond. Open the moment. Shop now at Lululemon.com.
You know, the history of presidential debates is that the incumbent president tends to flub the first debate every time. Again, this is going to do is cause people to think this is an escape hatch for Joe Biden to get out of it if he sucks so bad. Also, by the way, Joe Biden insisted, and CNN complied with it, that the only way someone will be on the presidential debate stage is they are on enough ballots in states to get 270 electoral college votes, which means no Robert Kennedy will debate. That's right. This can't be glossed over. Given the criteria the Presidential Debate Commission uses for presidential candidates, it could have been possible for Robert Kennedy to get on that debate stage. By bypassing the Presidential Debate Commission, Joe Biden can stack the deck to ensure Robert Kennedy isn't allowed on the debate stage. And CNN has set the criteria to be you got to have ballot access in enough states to get 270 electoral college votes on your own, which precludes Robert Kennedy at this time from being able to be on the debate stage. It's notable that it is Biden, not Trump, who wanted to block Robert Kennedy from the debate stage. All that being said, CNN should put this in a retirement home for these two old guys. Find a retirement home in the metro Atlanta area and host the debate there. Maybe get one of these two men comfortable with where he'll wind up if he doesn't get the job. But the fact that Biden wants no studio audience and he wants it at the end of June, when the history of presidents debating is the incumbent tends to flub it. I mean, Reagan in his first debate didn't do well. George H.W. Bush in his first didn't do well. Bill Clinton in his first debate didn't do well. George W. Bush didn't do well in his first. Barack Obama didn't do first in his. This is designed to be an escape hatch, and I don't think they did it by intention, but I think that's what it amounts to, and everybody is viewing it that way. Even Democrats are viewing this as Biden wants his first debate in June before he secures the nomination, so if he screws up, he can bow out and give it to somebody else. That's the only way this can be interpreted. It's not from a sign of strength. While all this is happening, you got this economic news. By the way, interest rates are not going to be coming down, and mortgage rates at this point are the highest they have been in, a very long time. You got China buying up all the gold out there, along with the BRICS, Brazil, Russia, India, and China. It's why Swiss America has been sounding the alarm about the secret war on cash and the assault on our freedoms. They want to educate you on how to protect your hard-earned assets right now. You need their report, Secret War on Cash. You got to read it. It's completely free. All you do is text my name, Eric, to 800-289-2646. The all-out war on cash includes digital forms of currency. There's no way around it. Text Eric to 800-289-2646 or give them a call and just mention me, 800-289-2646. You can also go to SwissAmerica.com/Eric, E-R-I-C-K. But it is very easy and straightforward to call or text my name, just my first name, Eric, to 800-289-2646. The Secret War on Cash report is completely free to you guys from Swiss America. They want to educate you on how to protect your hard-earned assets now. They got a great Better Business Bureau rating. They want to help you. 800-289-2646. Message and data rates may apply.
Blinds.com Cyber Monday Last Chance is happening now. Don't miss out on up to 45% off site-wide. A Blinds.com design expert can help you make the perfect selection on your schedule. We can handle everything from measure to your whole home installed for one low cost. With over 25 million windows covered, Blinds.com is the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings. Save up to 45% site-wide, plus a free professional measure right now at Blinds.com. Rules and restrictions may apply.
Welcome. It is Eric Erickson here across the United States. The full number is 877-973-7425 if you want to be on the program. Okay, y'all, I'm getting this question from a friend of mine who should be listening to me on the radio right now. But he can text instead and ask these questions. So if it's not Biden, who is the Democratic nominee? This is a question that comes up from so many people. Let's just say Biden does have a terrible debate at the end of June and decides, you know what, I'm too old, I need to get out, my polling's not coming up, I've just flubbed it. There's only one person. No, not Michelle Obama. Stop your crazy talk. Kamala Harris. Y'all, stop trying to like five-dimensionalize the chess of this game. You cannot deny the first black female vice president of the United States the nomination of the Democratic Party to replace the man she so loyally served. It is dumb to think otherwise. By a lot of smart people who have just gotten just dumb in their thinking. They want to strategize so much. This isn't a matter of strategy. It's a matter of obviousness. You cannot deny the first black woman to be vice president the presidential nomination when the old guy she served bows out. You just can't do it because the black women of America will not show up to vote for whoever else you put in there. It's got to be Kamala Harris, and that's the problem. Kamala Harris sucks. She is less popular than syphilis, and that's saying something. And she would be the Democratic nominee. They have tied themselves in knots on this. They never should have picked her as their vice presidential nominee, but they did. Because Joe Biden wanted to reward black women in South Carolina who pushed him over the edge to secure his nomination after the early states didn't go the way he wanted. So he rewarded them with Kamala Harris, a woman who is the daughter of immigrants, not actually a native African-American person, but one of them's from the Caribbean, one of them's from Asia, one of her parents from Asia, one's from the Caribbean. But she's lived in this country. Her parents were good progressives. She's a good progressive. She became Attorney General of California. She identifies as an American black woman. You're not going to deny this lady the Democratic nomination. There would be unmitigated hell if they did. That's the reality. You don't have to overthink this. You don't have to strategize to it's going to be Michelle Obama. No, it's not going to be Michelle Obama. It's going to be Kamala Harris. If, and it's a big if, Joe Biden stepped aside. Again, though, this is the problem with this whole strategy of doing the early debate is literally everybody is going to talk about it being an escape hatch. Now, Joe Biden needs an escape hatch. We have other news we have to talk about. Here is Rick Santelli.
April read on producer price index, the wholesale inflation gauge, up 0.5% on headline, up 0.5%. That's up 0.5%, and that is the hottest read, well, just since February when it was up 0.6. And if we look at ex-food and energy, same number, more than double expectations, as Becky pointed out, up 0.5%. That is the hottest read there. It equals January. You have to go to July of last year to get a hotter read. Another hot read is ex-food, energy, and trade. It's up 0.4, exactly double expectations. To find a hotter read, you have to go to January of this year when it was up 0.6. Now,
All right, that's Rick Santelli. Here's Kevin O'Leary on with Steve Doocy on Fox News.
This year, that's not what you want if you're the incumbent. Politically, it looks like this happened because inflation data, you can be 2020 in terms of looking backwards. We poured a lot of money into the economy during the pandemic. That turned out to be the right thing to do to avoid a depression. But then we kept going. We probably put around $2 trillion too much in. Inflation Reduction Act did not reduce inflation. In fact, it's inflationary, as you can see by these numbers. This is a nasty report.
Yep, it's not a good report. So now you have Jerome Powell saying, guess what's going to happen?
And so what that has told us is that we'll need to be patient and let restrictive policy do its work. If I turn to the outlook just for a second, I would say we expect continued growth, 2% or better. We expect the labor market to continue to be strong, but to move further and further into balance. And I expect that inflation will move back down on a monthly level, on a monthly basis, to levels that were more like the lower readings we were having last year. I would say my confidence in that is not as high as it was, having seen these readings in the first 3 months of the year. So we're just going to have to see where the inflation data fall out.
Okay. This, my friends, is the ultimate problem for Joe Biden. It is ultimately, it's not the culture. It's not abortion. It's the economy, stupid. I go back to this repeatedly. It's the economy that matters so much. Americans remember a time when groceries were not as expensive as they are, and it was during the Trump administration. You know, I mentioned this a couple of weeks ago. My dad was telling me, my dad's in his 80s, goes to the grocery store, used to be able to take a $20 bill, get his and my mom's groceries, and didn't think about it. Maybe had some pennies left over, but could pay for it with $20 bills. He says the 50 is now his $20 bill. The 50 is the new 20 because he's got to take a $50 bill to get the same things he was getting a couple of years ago for just a $20 bill. The amount of price increases is absurd in this country. And, you know, Jerome Powell, I didn't play the clip because I didn't want you people to march on my station and burn it down for me just playing a clip of Jerome Powell. But he tried to go through this. Actually, the economy is good. Household income is great. Everything is hunky-dory for Americans, except it's not because of grocery store prices. And there's other data to compare that to. In fact, credit card defaults are increasing. The amount of people unable to pay their credit card bill at all is going up. The amount of people who have stopped paying their credit card off month to month and are letting it grow is also going up. But there's a hidden bomb in the economy. It is one that is not substantially regulated. And it's going to explode. You can see it. The amount of people taking advantage of the buy now, pay later situations, whether it's Affirm or Apple Pay or you name it. So I bought my outdoor pizza oven, Fontana outdoor pizza oven. I love it. It was very pricey. I saved my money. Normally when I buy stuff, I'll just buy it. I'll put it on a credit card. I'll pay it off at the end of the month. And this was pretty pricey. I saved my money for it. I wanted it so badly. I researched the snot out of it for months and months. Which brand did I want to buy? Did I want to buy Alpha? Did I want to buy Fontana? Did I want to buy something else? I settled on the Fontana Forna. I love it. It is fantastic. I use it way more than I expected to use it. It does gas, or I can burn wood in it. It's a wood-burning pizza oven. I've baked bread in it. I've made desserts in it. I've made pizza in it. I've roasted meats in it. It is wonderful. And I was going to pay flat out. I saved the money for it. And then I had this thought, you know what? I'm getting 5% interest rate on my savings account. Well, 4.75% interest on the savings account. Why don't I park this money in the savings account and I'll use the no interest month-to-month payment from Affirm to buy it, and I'll make some money off of this purchase. And I've done it, and it's paid off now, but I did it. And I mean, I didn't get a ton of money, just the amount of interest, but I did get a little bit of money just on the interest rate for parking this thing in. I mean, it amounted to a couple bucks, but still. Well, I can make a couple of bucks in an interest-bearing account where the interest rates have gone up enough as opposed to just paying for it outright. That's fine. But here's the problem. A lot of people aren't doing that. What they're just doing is they're saying, oh, I'm going to buy now and I'm going to pay later and I'm going to do it for this and I'm going to do it for this and I'm going to do it for this and I'm going to do it for that and I'm going to do it for that. And this is starting to add up. And there's not a good accounting of it in the American economy as to how many people have done that. But there's a mass speculation that some of these companies are increasingly seeing people doing buy now, pay later to their detriment. So between not being able to pay your credit cards, struggling with your mortgage and your car payment, and now the buy now, pay later stuff, a lot of Americans have a lot of debt, and some of that debt is a secret debt, unrevealed to people, unknown to people, because of the way the regulations work on the buy now, pay later systems. But wait, there's more. The national debt is also a problem. JP Morgan Chase CEO Jamie Dimon on Wednesday said the U.S. needs to reduce its fiscal deficit sooner rather than later, warning the issue will likely become far more uncomfortable if it continues getting overlooked. His comments follow a period of rapid interest rate hikes, tax cuts, and massive stimulus programs designed to support the world's largest economy. Quote, America has spent a lot of money. During COVID and after COVID, our deficit is at 6% now. That's a lot, but obviously that drives growth. Any country can borrow money and drive some growth, but that may not always lead to good growth. So I think America should be quite aware that we've got to focus on our fiscal deficit issues a little bit more, and that's important for the world. He's not wrong there. And as interest rates have gone up, our debt service payments on the national debt have gone up with the interest rate. We're now at the point of spending more on the interest payments on the debt than we are on national defense. It has become a national security issue. Joe Biden wants us to believe that the greatest national security threat to America is climate change. Actually, the greatest national security threat is the national debt. We can't keep up our defense spending if we're paying interest on the national debt. Even in Great Britain, I subscribe to the Telegraph over there, the London Telegraph. They've got a piece on our national debt and that it is a global reckoning that's going to happen. If the United States cannot get a handle on its national debt and its deficit spending, it's going to drag the entire world into recession, if not depression. So much of the world is invested in the United States. If we go off the fiscal cliff, it's going to take down everybody. The irony there is that China is so over-leveraged right now and in debt that it's going to wreck their economy too. It's only a matter of time before people like Soros and the Chinese and others start buying American bonds to cause our economy more havoc. This is one of the ways that Soros made his money, the speculating on foreign currency. It's going to happen here too. This is obvious a national security issue that our government, on both sides, by the way, this isn't a Joe Biden issue. The economy is a Joe Biden issue. He wrecked it with inflation. But the national debt, that's bipartisan, and none of them seem eager to solve a problem that is so very obviously going to become the biggest national security issue for this country. We're going to go off the fiscal cliff. There's not a will to do anything about it in Washington, D.C. One of the groups that has had great proposals on it is, in fact, Americans for Prosperity. They believe that we can still cut our national debt without having to raise taxes. We can stimulate growth. We can grow the denominator in the equation to reduce the debt as a percentage of GDP. We know how to do this with tax incentives and tax cuts in this country. We can grow the economy. We can raise more revenue. All you got to do is remember we already know the way. Prosperity is possible. They have a bus tour where they want to teach you about this. ProsperityIsPossible.com. You go to ProsperityIsPossible.com. You can find where the bus is going to be in your area. You can talk to the people. You can listen to the speakers, and they're just going to remind you, we already have the ideas. We don't need new ideas. We know the tried and true ideas that can get us out of this fiscal mess. Prosperity is actually possible with the old tried and true ideas of Hayek and Milton Friedman, that we shouldn't be shaming people for embracing these guys who gave us the Reagan economic era. We should be embracing their ideas. Prosperity is possible. Go check out where the bus tour is going to be in your location from Americans for Prosperity. The website again, prosperityispossible.com.
In the time it takes us to say, we're using Folgers Instant Coffee, seamlessly blended with water and ice. A splash of whatever kind of milk is your thing. And gotta get that caramel drizzle. All to make a toasty, roasty, caramel iced coffee. You could be enjoying it. Every damn sip of it. Damn right. It's Folgers Instant.
This hour of the program is brought to you by First Liberty Building and Loan, wherever you are nationwide. If you're buying a building, buying a franchise, First Liberty might be able to help you. They make their own lending decisions. Reach out to them, firstlibertyga.com. All right, I'm going to move on to phone calls here. Mike in Jacksonville, Florida, you're up first. Welcome.
Hey, Eric, love the show. I've got a 1:30 call coming up, so I'm going to be brief. I'm in corporate sales and communications, have been for years, and you have to measure up the client. And Biden is defiant. He's always projected the alpha male, the sunglasses, the whisper, the yelling at us when he gives a speech. So I don't think he has any intention of stepping down, although I respect your position.
Well, no. Be clear here. I don't think he is either. I think the Democrats are stuck with him, but I think this opens the door to further speculation that he's going to bow out.
Maybe, but this is right in. This is a Democrat Party central plan or dream come true. They're down in Georgia. The event's going to be in Atlanta. They think they're the smartest people in the room. They're down with suburban housewives. They're down with all the special interest groups. And they have all this time to plan for this debate. So this is they're going to partner with CNN, and they're going to set up a hit job on Trump. They're going to go low. They're going to go after his family. They're going to go after his morals. They're going to go after his religion. But fortunately, I mentioned I'm in communications. Donald Trump ranks up there with one of the best communicators we've ever had. He ranks up there with Ronald Reagan, quite frankly. So I think Trump says, go ahead, do what you do. I am ready to go. But he needs to be cautious because, again, the 30-somethings and the 40-somethings with Steven Spielberg and all of Hollywood, they're already in a conference room right now planning this.
Oh, yeah,
and
you're absolutely right.
They're going to partner with CNN. They're going to partner with CNN and they're going to focus group questions, which will be most effective, which will appeal to the suburban housewife, which will appeal to African Americans. We're down in Georgia. We got to get Georgia back.
That's a fair point.
So no, I do not think, and Biden again. People say, he has dementia. Well, he's 82. I don't know that he has dementia. I ask people, do you currently work with an 82-year-old in your work? Well, no, I don't.
Yeah, okay. I got to let you go there, Mike. I appreciate it. And yes, maybe it's not dementia. Maybe it's just 82. But I think what you're saying is this is going to be the Admiral Akbar moment. It's a trap. Yeah, they're going to try for it to be a trap against Trump. By doing it so far out, and I'm starting to see the speculation come on social media as well, that by agreeing to it this far out, ABC will be even worse. You got George Stephanopoulos out there today lamenting that the White House would be in danger and our national security would be jeopardized if Donald Trump goes back to the White House. Not exactly fair or honest, and the level of bias and the media is going to be through the chains. However, here's the thing. If it is that biased, Donald Trump's going to be able to take advantage of it. He is able to capitalize on that sort of stuff unlike anyone else I've ever seen in politics. And the American public will be sympathetic to him when he points out the biases. This is probably yet again Democrats trying to build a trapdoor for Trump to fall through, and they're the ones who wind up falling through it.